welcome to my first video of 2021. So thought I'd start the new year slightly differently, and I'm going to do an acrylic overlay set for Lottie today. So I have used Stiletto display tips instead of the base nail tips, and I've slid those in as I would with a base nail, chopped the end off, and this is what I'm going to be working on. Now with these tips, I didn't want them moving around, so I wanted to make sure they fit nice and snug. So you might find you need to go up a size and possibly just file it in slightly, because you don't want to rip the cuticle on these hands, but I want a nice snug tip so they don't move around. And then once I was happy with how they were fit, we can go in with the design. So this is a very natural neutral design, so I wasn't worrying about a clear thin base, and if you are using cover powders you don't need to use clear first. So I'm starting off with the white boomer powder from Perfect Nails. You really can't see because these are natural coloured tips, but I'm just doing the tip of the index and the ring finger, fading it down, and I'm going to be doing a baby boomer on these two nails using cover boomer at the cuticle and faded over. But whilst I just let that dry slightly, I much prefer to do my baby boomers or any other ombres once the first colour has dried slightly. I'm going to do a base of this colour on the middle nail. Full nail. This is going to have glitter on it, but I wanted a little bit of a base just to protect the nail. I mean, obviously I don't need to protect a display tip, but if you're working on a client, it's a nice base. Plus I'm going to fade the glitter slightly, keeping it nice and thin because we don't want to add bulk because we're going in with glitter and we will need to encapsulate. But because I'm going to fade it from the tip down, I'm adding a little bit more at the cuticles, so I've got full coverage of the colour, but also I don't need to encapsulate that if necessary, if that's going to add too much bulk, because it's a strength powder. Back on to the ring finger and the index finger, and I'm going to come in with that cover powder for the nail bed part of my baby boomer. Applied it at the cuticle, tucked it in nice and neat, so I've got a nice blend there, no bulk, no step, and then just faded it down over the white. These two colours together make creating baby boomers easy. They just work together. They're designed to work together, and they really do. So you don't really need to do much to create a really nice blend, but I was going to be adding bling to these two nails anyway, so it didn't matter if it wasn't perfect. It was just my base. But they were good enough. I would have left them if I didn't want to add bling. But now this design needs some sparkles. So I have chosen one of the Glam glitters from Crystal Nails. This is number 1. It's called Rainbow, but I think it's got a bit of a gold shine to it, and I thought it fitted this neutral design perfectly, and I thought at the end it was a very bridal design. I loved how it turned out. So on the pinky and on the thumb, which I kept in, I'm just doing full nails of this glitter. So small wet bead of clear acrylic into the glitter and then patting it onto the nail, making sure I pat it down, keep it thin, you know, all that jazz, because we will have to encapsulate it and we don't want bulk. And then on the middle finger, I'm starting near the tip and I'm just fading it down. So it's going to have more full coverage at the tip and then just fade it down towards the cuticle. Don't worry if it's not perfect. I wasn't worrying if the coverage wasn't perfect right to the tip. The whole idea was it just sort of, I don't know, just plonked on. Technical term, isn't it? Just plonked on. So I'm just fading it off a bit at the cuticle, and now we're going to do the thumb. And exactly the same as the pinky. I will often do this with my designs. I know I've said it in previous videos as well. If I do a thumb, I don't always do them in my videos, I don't always do them in my sets on Lottie, I will normally do the thumb the same as either the ring finger or the pinky, because you generally don't see it in the pictures. So but I'm just finishing off applying that glitter, making sure coverage. On an actual nail you could go in with a cover powder base if you wanted, but now that is all laid down, I'm going to let that glitter set because we don't want to move it, and then I'm going to encapsulate all of these in clear acrylic. They don't need lots of bulk, I just want a little apex, and then I'm going to file them to shape, so straighten up my side walls, the free edge, and then refine the surface of the nail, and then we'll be ready to bling them up. So here they are, all filed, all nicely done, and to be honest you could leave them like this, but this is me and I like to go that little bit extra. So I've got my Perfect Nails gel glue, which I'm going to be using to apply some crystals, and I'm just applying that with a micro swab. I much prefer using the micro swab than the brush because I feel you can be a little bit more accurate and not flood the nail with glue. And I'm using a selection of AB crystals and round crystals and square crystals, and just doing a line down the centre of the nail and just alternating, so round, square, round, square. Get the idea? You didn't really need me to tell you that, did you? But hey ho. So I'd only gone halfway with the glue, so I'm just going to go back to my glue, and then once I've happy with the placement of them, you can always use the other end of your katana or whatever you use to place your crystals, or a dotting tool or a orange stick or something, just to push them around so they're lined up perfectly. And then once I was happy, I flash cured this because I didn't want them to move around while I was adding the next lot of crystals. So just adding that last one, which is a little circle, and then I'm just going to flash cure. 10 seconds is all you need just to hold them in place. Okay, so these are flash cured, and now I'm going to add a few more either side. I'm going to do one side at a time, and I've got these, they're sort of golden shimmer Swarovskis or something like that. Honestly, I can't remember the name, but they've got a bit of a gold look to them, and I picked these out because they match that glitter I felt. And I'm just putting them in on one side. I've got two different sizes, and then I'm going to flash cure. I'm going to do the same on the other side, and then I'm going to give this a full cure. So I'm just going to let you watch that because you don't need to hear me waffling on, and then we're going to move on to the ring finger. I gave you false information. I only flash cured this again, but that's because it's all going to be fully cured in the end. So on the ring finger, using that glue, I'm just randomly dabbing some on, and then I'm going to add some of those golden toned crystals again, just randomly, just, you know, wherever. I've got, I think, two sizes, might have only, yeah, two sizes, and just adding a few just here, there and everywhere. And then once I'm happy with where they are, just a random blobbing them on, so there wasn't anything to be unhappy about really, we are going to give all of that a full cure for 60 seconds. Now I've got the Perfect Nails top gel, and I am going to fiddle around top coating in and around all of those crystals. I don't want to go over top of them. So I decanted a little bit and I've got my top coating brush so I can get right in and around, because I'm going to add some crystal Pixie to the whole of this nail. So I didn't want it on top of the crystals because firstly that really does dull the shine of them, and secondly the crystal Pixie would have stuck to them and that would have just been a waste of time putting crystals on. So just getting in, around, it's a little bit tedious doing this, but hey ho, what you gonna do? So I'm just getting in with my brush, getting all the way around, and then when this whole nail is top coated, I'm going to apply the crystal Pixie. You don't really want to go down the side walls or the free edge. I did, but then I wiped it all away, so because you don't want the rough crystals. So this is my little jar of crystal Pixie. It's almost gone, and this is my catch tray, which is one of the ones for dip acrylics. It's perfect for this. So I've just tipped it on, and now I'm patting it down to make sure it's all stuck in, and now I'm just going around getting rid of the excess, and ended up getting rid of some of it on the nail. So in with my brush, and what I then did was picked up some of those corked bits from the tray to fill in any gaps. When I was happy, I just wiped the sides in so there was no overhang, pressed it all down, and then cured it for 60 seconds. I would always recommend double curing something like this, but because I'm going to top coat all the other nails afterwards, it is going to get that double cure. So I'm going to let you watch me faff with the crystal Pixie, and then we're going to come back in a moment to top coat the rest of these nails. Okay, that felt like an age. Right, now we're going to top coat. Look at that glitter. So top coating the middle and the ring pinky easily. On that index finger I've just put a little bit either side, and then I will go in with my detailer brush to get in and around all of those crystals. This also helps to hold them in place. So it's a bit of extra security, and it also means you don't go over top of them with your top coat. So just getting in and around them all, both sides, and then I'm going to pop these in my lamp to cure for that final 60 seconds, and then this is my neutral sparkle overlay design and the first video of 2021 complete. And here they are, all done. I thought this design was incredibly bridal. Really liked how it turned out. I know at the moment weddings and things like that, but I think this is a really nice bridal design. It's very neutral, and you could do it without the crystals if that's a bit much for you. So it's a versatile design. You could add some pigments, lots of other things you could do instead of the crystals, but this is me. Those of you who haven't watched my videos before, I do like a little bit of bling. So there we go. So that's my first video 2021 done, and I do hope you have enjoyed it. I did enjoy creating this one, so I thought it was the perfect one to start the year off. But a bit of a neutral cleanse to start the year. So if you have enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't, please click subscribe. Make sure you check out the description box because all the product links, the details, everything you need to know is in there, and I will see you again very, very soon. Bye! Mwah!